Here we are, another day of NBA basketball, closer to the regular season, and another day of ESPN blasphemy, as they always tend to do to stir up a little bit of controversy. But in the sports world, you need controversy to really spice things up and make things a little bit more interesting, particularly when you don't have actual meaningful NBA games going on. We do enjoy seeing the preseason, but we enjoy hot takes, I would say, a little bit more, and beyond that, ranking things. We love to compare players. And so today we're going to be talking about how somehow they thought it was reasonable to drop Russell Westbrook from 65th overall on the top 100 list to 94. Now, we do know this most recent season when he was listed as 65th overall, he was playing for the Los Angeles Lakers. In fact, he had just finished his first season with the team, averaging 18.5 points, 7.5 rebounds, and 7 assists. Now, with that being said, he also did end up shooting 44% from the field and 29.8% from beyond the arc, which was abysmal to say the least, and it created a lot of the early tensions that everybody had with him playing on the Lakers. My issue with that is the simple fact of the matter being he was a solid player then, but many people seem to change the narrative about Westbrook and say he's so much better on the Clippers. If that's the case, and he played as well as he did, having multiple 30-point games in the playoffs, particularly once Kawhi went down with injury and his season was over, how exactly did he get 30 spots worse? I can't really answer that question for you, to be quite honest, because to me, he's the same level of player that he was before. But this list was entirely out of whack. There was a lot of players rated higher. You saw Victor rated, I believe, in the mid to low 50s, which was surprising considering the fact that, he hasn't played in an actual NBA game. Now, in the preseason action, particularly when he faced off against Chet Holmgren, he looked really good. Chet, I believe, did not score a single bucket on him specifically out of the points that he had. Now, they both went for 20 plus, but Wembanyama definitely had more buckets that were just like a wow factor to it. Russell Westbrook at this stage in his career doesn't have very many wow plays left in him, particularly from like putting the ball down on somebody's head type of thing. He can still do it, but he's a lot more conservative and reserved with his energy. He's still a flaming ball of fire. He still brings that same tenacity to the court night in, night out. He's always going to give you effort, and that's the big thing about him. No matter how good or bad he's played in a game, he is always given the team that he's playing with 130% effort, which is more than most other players can say. And he has always prided himself on availability, considering that his resume includes multiple seasons of him either playing all the games or within really 72 to 80-ish games of the season, which means he's not resting very many games. And the games that he is out, he's genuinely hurt. Now, obviously, as of late, there's been a couple mishaps, but even when you look at last season, when he spent time with the Lakers and then got traded to the Clippers, he played in 73 games overall. Admittedly, with the Lakers, he only started in 3 out of 52, but with the Clippers, he started all 21 out of the 21 games he was there. With the Lakers, he ended up averaging 16 points, 6 rebounds, and 7.5 assists to go along with the steal. And when he got traded over to the Clippers, he also averaged basically 16 points with 7.5 assists and 5 rebounds. Admittedly, you had more rebounding capable players on that roster, so that's kind of why his went down a little bit, and just because of how his role slightly changed. So he didn't have to do as much to be as effective, or honestly more effective than he was with the Lakers. Hence, considering the fact that his percentage of shooting from the floor with the Lakers went from 41.7% up to 48.9% when he was with the Clippers. I get it. Sample size of only almost half as many games, but still a significant enough difference to pay attention to. And then shooting, he just randomly decided to find a 3-ball out of nowhere, as he went from 29.5% with the Lakers to 35.5% with the Clippers. Admittedly, he hit roughly 1.2 out of every 4 attempts when he was with the Lakers, and still ended up hitting 1.2 out of 3.5 attempts with the Clippers. And those percentages were surprisingly still similar in the playoffs when they did end up losing in the first round, but he was like that flaming ball of fire that made many people believe that they could actually pull off the upset despite having Kawhi go down and obviously just not having all the cogs in the machine there and available to play. I say all that to say this. Overall, Russell Westbrook has been one of the most disrespected players in the league as of late. Many people, as soon as he broke the triple-double record and continued to do it and average it for multiple seasons, people became more unimpressed, and they just don't realize how difficult it is to do. Now, admittedly, their system was predicated on him getting triple doubles because usually him getting triple doubles meant the Thunder won games. So if we're more likely to win, if someone still does something, we want him to do that thing so that we can win. That's just a simple principle of the matter. So I kind of rag on fans for sitting there and criticizing it like that, because what he did worked for him in the team that he played for. So it should be commended, not ragged on and told that he can't do what he does. And then you send him to the Lakers and he became a redundant ball handler on the court with LeBron. And he doesn't thrive in the same situations as LeBron James. He's not a great shooter, and we've known that. He's never had a particularly great three ball. Now with the Clippers, out of nowhere, he's seemed more confident. He's shown a more smooth stroke to the point where he's not baking threes in. He's making threes from the wing, from the corner, from the top of the key, wherever the case may be. And I don't know if that's reasonable to assume it will continue into this upcoming season. But whatever the case may be, he was a better shooter with them. He also was able to be himself. He was able to be the primary ball handler, initiate the offense, and just take control on fast breaks and make the final say of the play be his own decision, which I believe was a big difference between his lack of success with the Lakers and his ultimate success with the Clippers. Now, he did end up averaging, obviously, basically the same amount of points on roughly the same amount of minutes. But the simple fact of the matter was, he looked like he had more fun. He looked like he was a better player when he was with the Clippers. He looked more confident. He was going through and getting the shots that he preferred. It didn't seem like he was being put into like a really small pack box and expected to just do. And I believe him being able to run free has been a thing that led to success for the Clippers at the end of the last season, even going into the playoffs when they didn't have all their pieces. And I believe that that's going to be a very big difference maker that most people don't really take into account until we get probably 20, 30-ish games into the season, maybe even closer to the deadline, to be quite honest with you, because many people have this team as a barely 40-win team, which to me, I understand the West is packed, but you have Kawhi and Paul George, two elite defenders on the same team, who are also elite scorers, plus the playmaker that is Russell Westbrook, who also thrives on the fast break and can also give you 20 any night that you need it. And we're not going to act like their bench is just completely non-existent, because it's not. But even though it's not one of the better ones in the league, they're still going to get a comfortable amount out of them as well. But even with that top three, I'm still banking on them over a lot of other duos and trios in the league. But you guys let me know what you think in the comments below. As always, it's your boy Ray Thoops. Make sure to like the video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Good morning, good evening, good night, no matter where you are on the globe watching. Thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.